past year for CityChurch has been incredible. For us on our lead team, our journey started about 2 years ago. A lot of us who were in ministry in different places all around the state, feeling the call of God to go and to plant this church, really not knowing what it was going to look like, having to pack up, move our families, resign from our positions, and coming to Tulsa really just with what you feel like it is a word from God to build this church. We're sitting around a table trying to figure out what are we going to call this thing. We had a passion to serve the city of Tulsa. We had a passion to love our community and to see lives transformed, but we didn't know what we were going to call the church. And I remember someone just saying, how about CityChurch? And you know what? We just thought, that's us. That just makes sense for us. And our mission statement was simply love God, serve the city.
Yeah, when we first moved to Tulsa, we started having monthly gatherings where we would gather the small team that we had and cast vision and just talk about what the church was going to be and just help people figure out what their role would be. And we were also going into the community, daily, just trying to make as many connections as possible. We also partnered with Wright Elementary School, which is right next door to CityChurch. And before we were even having services, we had people there every day of the week mentoring. And we just chose to do that because we wanted to really invest in the community as a big way that we could serve the city.
We stumbled across the Tulsa Ballet and just thought, wow, that is an amazing space if we could land that. And so I went there and began to talk to them. I walked in the door and began to talk to the lady that was at the front desk, and she basically just told me no. And usually when somebody tells me no, I'll ask for to talk with somebody else that's in charge, but that day, for some reason I didn't. I was just totally crushed. I think I called Matt and I was like, man, it's not good. So we began a relationship with Wright Elementary next door. We'd actually even signed a contract to begin meeting there. The day that I'd signed the contract and had it approved with the principal, I was leaving the parking lot and just felt like I should stop by the Tulsa Ballet one more time. And I walked in and there was a guy in the lobby area by the name of Nathan Gortney. And he told me he was the facility director of the Tulsa Ballet. And I told him I was with CityChurch and what we were looking to do, and he started laughing. And I said, what's so funny? And he goes, well, I just came out of a meeting 5 minutes ago and we're looking to lease this space on Sunday morning. And so I got a big smile and I said, let's talk.
So we had this day, January 31st, 2010, that was going to be our public launch of CityChurch that we're working toward. Our entire launch team is getting together at this point, weekly, working toward this goal. Our city kids workers, our worship and our tech team, and we're pumped about this day. And we even had 2 preview services there at the Tulsa Ballet. It's a time where we actually went in, we set up our entire church and no one was even coming. It was just practice for us. And I remember I preached to like 10 people. It was a couple days before our big launch. We'd been working for months for this day. The word was out, we knew people were going to come, and we start to hear reports of a snow and ice storm that's headed toward Tulsa. The Friday before our launch, the 2 days beforehand, we get 3 inches of ice in Tulsa. And then on top of that, we get about 5 inches of snow. I can remember standing in the Tulsa Ballet parking lot this Saturday before we're going to launch, and we are scraping the snow and ice off the sidewalks, wondering if we can even do this thing. And I'm having some really honest talks with God. Just about this whole thing that we'd been working toward and spent money on and inviting, and we were just pumped up to have it, and now it may not even happen. We had 174 people come in the snow and ice that Sunday morning to CityChurch. We still had 13 people commit their life to Christ during that time, and a lot of people who said, hey, we're in this. We're in what you guys are doing. We believe in you. For me, it was just another one of those steps that says, hey, God's in control. So it's just a few weeks after our launch, and now we're meeting weekly, and we hold our first big team night, and this is a night where we really get to connect with the people who are saying, hey, we want to be a part of the vision of CityChurch. And it was awesome just having people come in and eat with us and sitting down and having a good time celebrating even what God had just done in the first few months of CityChurch. And that night we had nearly 100 people come, and we had maybe 70 to 80 people who committed to, hey, we want to be a part of what you're doing. We want to begin serving. We want to see the vision of CityChurch go forth. And that was a big night for us.
The heartbeat of CityChurch has always been to love God and serve the city. And so we came up with the idea to create an initiative called Love Tulsa to serve the city and to channel our people into service. Our idea wasn't to create necessarily another organization to begin doing that, as much as come alongside other people that were already doing that and doing it well, and to celebrate with them the good that was already happening in and through our community. And so we began to form strategic relationships. One with Wright Elementary, which is right next door to the Tulsa Ballet. Began channeling our people there and having them sign up to mentor students. And then we also formed a relationship with the Tulsa Boys Home to send people out there to begin mentoring and tutoring boys. One of the things that we love to do is help out with the events here in the Brookside area. Those range from Rumble and Roll, which is a motorcycle rally. And one of the things that we do is we just show up and pick up trash and serve them, which is a huge win for them and for us as a community. The biggest event of the year is the Boo Ha Ha. We've had the opportunity to serve 2 years in a row. We helped run the pet and kids costume contest during the parade. Our last Saturday outreach is something we started a few months back just to show up and serve people right here in Brookside. And so once a month we show up and mow yards, rake leaves, clean up trash, whatever needs to be done, just strategic needs right here in our local community.
The grand opening for us was just an awesome time. It was September 12, 2010. The people in our church had been inviting their friends, their coworkers, their families, people who were disconnected from God, disconnected from a church body. And it was awesome to see 238 people show up that Sunday morning with 16 people giving their life to Christ. In the weeks that followed, I think we baptized around 19 people. As I look back over the last year of CityChurch, the last 2 years for our lead team, I can see the hand of God at specific points all along the way, where God has provided financially, where God has given us the right people, where God has provided the Tulsa Ballet facility, where God has shown up above and beyond, even our expectations. And for us, it's just confirmation that God is in this, that we're in the right place at the right time. And as we look back on 2010, don't get me wrong, I'm pumped up about what God has done, and we're celebrating it, and I'm overjoyed. But by no means are we satisfied. We don't want to stay in the same place. We're ready to move forward and take the next step as a church, to go to the next level that God has called us to go to. And our goals for 2011 are huge. They're scary, big, God-sized goals that if God doesn't show up in some kind of miraculous way, they're not going to happen. And I think that honors Him. I truly believe that we serve a God who can do the impossible. And we combine that kind of God with a group of people that are passionate about life transformation and giving of themselves, that we're going to see God do things that will completely blow our minds.